first, and I think Keon's my evaluator, and then Julia's second, John Davies is her evaluator, and then Joe is third, and Joel, you're his evaluator. Joel. Got it.
Cool. All right, let's kick it off. Our first speaker today is JohnR. Ladies and gentlemen, this world is made for some folks and a challenge for others. Today, JohnR will be practicing his international speech for the area contest tomorrow. Please join me in welcoming JohnR with Accessibility for All. Accessibility for All.
Crack! The crack of the bat. Normally an awesome sign when you're watching baseball or playing baseball, but not for me this day. Because that crack of the bat was on the back of my head.
Ooh.
Luckily, the catcher's helmet protected me somewhere, but that day forever changed me. 9 years old, playing baseball, down, heckling the batter a little bit, and the batter just stepped back and took, swung. Brutal and not a good thing to do, but it happened. From that point on, within the next 4 months, my vision went from 20/20 to about here before everything was foggy. Now, I'm not sure whether that was from puberty hitting a little bit, and you have those hormones, and my genetics, my parents both have glasses. It may have been in the cards already, but that was certainly a fast onset. Now, as a kid, I was very scared, and so I started practicing being blind. I would walk around my house trying to get ready in the morning without being able to see. And it was extremely challenging. It was rough, lots of stubbed toes, ran into a few doors. It was a different way to go through the world. Now, this is just a small taste of what I went through. But I invite you to think back upon times where you had to go through the world in a different way. Were you injured and on crutches and having to navigate stairs, looking up a set in dread, or even worse, down a set of stairs? Having to navigate that on crutches is difficult, but imagine if you were wheelchair bound. Imagine if you had some type of disability, some type of illness preventing you from getting around and accessing the areas you normally would. I think most of us don't think about this when we're going around through everyday life, because you're healthy, you're sound, you're able to navigate the whole world. But as soon as something happens, and it can happen in a split second, the crack of a bat, or rolling off a curb, or any other injury, all of a sudden the world is different for you. Now, I'm an engineer and a contractor, and I build things and I design things. And my challenge to you is, if you were in a good opportunity to design something, think about every single person who may be using it. Every single person who may be interacting with what you're making. If there's an opportunity to have a ramp into a building or to have stairs, build the ramp. Because every single person can use that ramp. Not every person can use the stairs. Recently saw a cool TikTok, and there's a blind skateboarder. And he does some really cool tricks, and he does some amazing athleticism. Like, he went to a museum in Italy, a museum for the blind. And he was able to go around and touch the sculptures. And as he's touching them, they have their explanations written in Braille. The first time ever this individual was able to go to a museum and enjoy a museum. Just imagine, as an average person, you go into a museum and you're seeing these beautiful works of art, but you can't touch them. You can't interact with them beyond walking around and looking around them a bit. But for this day, this museum, this individual was transcended by the artwork. He was able to see through his fingers. That is designing something for everyone. Because everybody else could enjoy the amazing art too. The world is very easy for most people to navigate, but for others it isn't. Now, my encouragement to you is to do your best to make it easier for other people. Now, whether it comes to being accessible into things, or using products, or having the right to do in our country with legislation, do what you can to help everybody have equal access. Equal voting rights, equal representation. sanitation, equal healthcare. All of these things are at our fingertips, and we can do this. Because having accessibility for one person versus having accessibility for everybody, it takes everybody to make that happen. If you think this doesn't affect you, I challenge you to try to get around for 10 minutes. 10 minutes, that's it, without being able to see. I challenge you to try to get around for 10 minutes without being able to walk. Think about that. 10 minutes right there can change your life. And every single person is going to age. Every single person gets older. And as you get older, some of these abilities, they get taken away from you. If you have knee surgery, like a friend of mine yesterday was in the hospital for knee surgery. She's out, and now she's not going to be able to move around. For a little while at least. Hopefully that surgery will help her be more able. But 10 minutes in somebody else's shoes can change your entire life. So the next time you are faced with a decision, faced with a choice, faced with a design choice, faced with a legislation choice, faced with a voting choice, I encourage you. Accessibility for all is accessibility for all of us. Mr. President.
Powerful speech, sir. Please take a moment, write on your note to John, let him know you filed your speech. He's going to put his phone number in the chat so people can text him their feedback if they're online.